and welcome to today's episode of Indulge Videos. Today we are inside the grand premise of the Alipore Museum in Kolkata, where the museum, along with the Classic Drivers Club, has organized a vintage car and bike show. With an assimilation of 130 cars and bikes which have been restored and preserved, this classic vintage car and bike show is one of a kind. If you are wondering where I am sitting, then this is a 1938 Austin 7 owned by Onindo Shotdat. And today in this episode, we will be examining a lot many other cars and bikes and knowing about their history from their owners. Did you know that this red beauty was once owned by Bollywood actor Jackie Shroff? Yes, we speak to its current owner Shoykot Datto, who is going to tell us a lot more about this. Sir, welcome to Indulge, and tell us how you happened to have this, which was once owned by Jackie Shroff.
See, from the very beginning, from my childhood, I was very much interested in cars. So, in 2007, I went to Bombay for some work. I was moving around in Bombay, and I just located this car in Vashi. It was lying under a roof of a petrol pump, and the owner was at that time Mr. Kunal Marchand. From there, I learned that this car belonged to Jackie Shroff. He sold it off to a few people, and eventually it came to Kunal Marchand.
Right.
And Kunal Marchand, he bought this car in 2007, brought it back to Kolkata, restored it. Nothing very much was done into it. Body was little shabby, so I gave it a paint job. And since then, I've been using this car.
Right. So, apart from the paint, have you done any other changes?
No. This is not. Everything is original. Everything is original. Painted it, and then changed the upholstery. Previously, it used to be a Rexin upholstery. Now it's leather.
Right.
That's all.
And how often do you take it for a ride?
Every weekend I take it out. I use it as a regular car.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay. And what are the important steps to take care and preserve such vintage cars?
See, to preserve the car, you need to actually start it, ride it almost in a very regular basis. Unless the car rides or you take out the car, you don't come to know about the faults. So the moment there is some fault, you take care of that immediately. This way, the car upgrades itself to a certain level. It took me almost 5 years to first enter into a rally. Before that I couldn't, because every time I used to go out, it used to stall car. So my advice to everybody is to start the car and to move around the car as much as possible.
Now we are standing in front of the BSA A7 Star Twin, and we have the owner with us, Chandan Basu Malik, who will be talking to us about this bike. So, sir, please tell us a little bit about this bike. How long have you been owning it, and what has been the history of the bike?
The bike, I bought this bike in 1971 from Varanasi,
Okay.
and it was being scrapped. So it was in 3 boxes, all loose parts and all that. At that time, I was in class 11, and so I bought it, not knowing what to do with it. I wanted to have a twin. I was very much influenced by one gentleman who had a similar bike. I used to hear it every morning, and that's where I got the inspiration that someday I need to get a twin BSA. So luckily this came along, but it was in bits and pieces. So it took me 25 years to build it to what it is here, as you see it today. 90% of the bike I have rebuilt myself from parts from all over the world, from India, from USA, from Europe, from UK, and I've tried to make it as original to the manufacturer specifications.
Right. So, as you said that you found this in 3 boxes,
Yes.
and then it took you 25 years. So, what was your reference point when you were restoring this?
Reference point, you see, came in 2014 when you could access internet. You had Google and all that. So from there we got the documentation, the owner's manual. From there, the manual, the workshop manuals and all that. From there we took the references so that we could make sure that we get each and everything correct. It has to be period correct. In a restoration, it's not that you cobble up something so I wanted to ensure that it is period correct, whether it's the levers, whether it's the throttle grip, whether it's speedometers, whether it's the advanced retard mechanism or the electrics, even the headlamp rims and all that, these are all period correct. You see, it's not the same as the other bikes. So that was an important aspect for me. And the number suggests that it has come from Assam, and in all probability, this is a pure guess, it was the Assam Rifles Commandant's bike.
Okay.
Okay, which later on, the government bikes used to get auctioned, and somehow somebody bought it in Varanasi, and then luckily I got it.
And how many bikes do you have in your collection?
At the moment, I have 11.
Right. And which is your favorite?
I have another one, which is also the contemporary to this one, which is Norton Dominator, which is period 1949.
Right.
And from the lightweight point of view, I have India's only Gilera.
And that was the Ariel 1937, owned by Lieutenant Colonel Nitin Shrestha, whom we have with us now. Sir, welcome to Indulge.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about how you got this beautiful and elegant bike.
This is a pre-war meaning before World War II motorbike, Ariel. It is a British motorbike. Ariel, the company is not existing anymore. It was bought by BSS somewhere in 1950s. And this specific vehicle is a hard-framed twin port vehicle, which has got a fishtail exhaust here. And this bike was actually from somewhere in West Bengal, purchased by someone in Bangalore long back in 90s. Then it was lost for a couple of years. Then finally purchased by someone in Pune. And I went to Pune, bought it, got it restored to its original specifications. Took us around 2 years to get it restored. And then finally we have it here back in Calcutta.
How long have you been the owner of
I
this?
have been owning it for last 2.5 years now.
And tell us something about the engine. It attracted a lot of people when you know.
The engine
had
is a
it on.
350cc engine, and it is a very fast bike. There were 2-3 bikes which were made for speed, so one of them were Ariel, and the advertisement back then in 1937 used to have a horse with the red hunter. So it was depicting how fast the motorbike can go. It's quite a fast motorbike,
Right.
and right now also it goes very fast.
So how often does it go for a ride?
Every week I take it out.
We have with us Mr. Paul Roy, who is the owner of this beautiful, classic and elegant 1928 Studebaker President 8 State Limousine. Sir, please tell us a little bit about the history of this and how did it come to your family?
Okay. The vehicle is called a 1928 Studebaker President 8 State Limousine, and it had come to India in the year 1928, and it was a prototype in that year because Studebaker had come up with a newly launched 8-cylinder engine, and this car was sent as a demonstrator to go all around the country. But
So this is the only first model that came in India?
Was the 8-cylinder model actually. And it was sent to Calcutta because Calcutta was the city of princes and they expected a big market. But my grandfather, Raja Kamaraj Rai, he was so fascinated with the car that he wanted to buy the car, and the dealer took the permission, and then they took the permission from USA, the company Studebaker, and then they sold it to him. And ever since 1928, it has remained with him in our palace at Kashim Rajbari in Murshidabad.
So sir, as you said that this limousine used to be in Murshidabad and now you're displaying it in Calcutta. So at what point did it come to Calcutta?
After our country got independent in 1947, my grandfather shifted to Kolkata in the year 1953, and thereafter this car had no particular use over there, and around the year 1963, my father, Prashant Kumar Roy, he bought the car to Kolkata.
So can we go inside and get a sneak peek of the car?
Yes, please do. You're most welcome. This is the driver's compartment and the co-driver's compartment, and you see all the meters and gauges. They are all working in working condition, perfect working condition. And you could open the front window from here to have some breeze inside the cabin in case you are feeling warm. And these are the wipers. They are working on pneumatical, on suction. They are not electrically operated. And since this is a limousine with a glass partition in between, so once you roll up the glass, you are not able to hear the passengers come on. So this is first ever device, improvised intercom, It was improvised in year 1926 by a company in US called Pictograph Corporation US. So Pictograph Corporation, they used to provide these intercoms in all limousines like Rolls Royce, Studebaker, Düsseldorf, PSRO, all these companies, they will be using this type of intercom from 1928. So as you have seen, this is a formal car and this is the partition. You can roll up the glass and have some privacy. And then if you needed to talk to the driver, you would be using the intercom. The speaking unit is over here behind the armrest, and the driver would be here able to hear from the earpiece that is just by the side of his ear. And these are the two grab handles. So in those days, these were all luxury appointments in the car. And this, you can see, this is called a robe rail. So in those days the ladies would be wearing long skirts, and they would be also using the beautiful lap robes which were crafted by companies like Chase. They would make designer lap robes, so it would be possible to hang them over here. So these are all the luxury appointments. The seats are made of broadcloth. It's a fabulous upholstery materials, and the ceiling is made of mohair. It's a woolen velvet cloth, and the carpets are Wilton weave carpets.